What's going on is the Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. And if you are tuning in on YouTube, it probably looks unfamiliar to you, and that's because we are recording on one of our subsets. And I'm excited today, for one, to be recording on a subset because it's just a different ambiance, and for two, because I found myself joined by my co-host, Ricky B. Philly. So, we back there on my guy, right on cue.
They didn't try to tell me about the subset. This is like the secret side chat. I had to find about, but I made it.
I forgot you had a location. That's the only reason he knew we was here.
I made it.
But welcome back to another episode of America's fastest growing podcast. Actually, we might be the world's fastest growing podcast, but for sure, America's fastest growing podcast.
True story.
So, welcome back. Shout out to y'all. Before we even get into a big shout out to my sponsors for the day, Janice and Jean. They on the hat, on the pants, whatever the case may be. And yeah, man, let's get into it.
Yeah, but I figure we should probably
go ahead. No, actually, how was your week? But let's get into it.
Yeah, we can kind of decide together. I figure we could jump right into like how our cleanse went. A couple episodes ago, we was talking about doing a cleanse, and now we basically a month later, essentially. Yeah. So let's talk about how you failed. Let's lead with how you failed.
I wouldn't say I failed. Would I grade myself an A? No. I probably would say I would step up at about a C plus. Only because I didn't see any of the movies I was supposed to watch. But everything else I did pretty good.
I was telling a few people about it. It was like 16 movies,
That's
Q.
what I'm saying.
like,
that's how the
fuck is that a lot in one month?
Who had that much downtime, Mr. Unemployed? I think you were trying to punish me for what your job did.
Absolutely. Let's both watch movies every day and I have nothing to do.
He took Netflix into the next level.
But we did our miles. We had to do 16 miles.
Yeah. I think I did on the app, I probably did like 10 or 12, but I did a lot of physical activity. We did say, all right, because I do a lot more physical activity that a lot of the basketball and football would accumulate. I'm not going to point any, I'm not going to throw no shit. I'm just saying.
Ricky?
No, I'm just saying. I seen Ricky at the runs, but, nor here nor there. Somebody showed up to the football runs with Jordans on and ball shorts. Said we're playing football.
And then I dropped one pass.
Yeah, so we're playing football in the second half.
Yeah, in the second half. Anything that came to me, I caught.
That was
I
crazy.
saw. Oh my god! I tried to change it.
But no. So yeah, ultimately, what I will say is I want to do it again, a little bit more intentional because I was going through such a transition during it that I felt like I was just discombobulated and I was forcing it. I was cooking, but I cooked. But I didn't cook as much as I wanted to.
I would say you microwaved. I want to say you.
Who microwaved? I cooked.
No, you said you was were you cooking figuratively?
Food.
Okay.
Not figuratively.
I thought you were saying you cooked the cleanse.
No. I was cooking food because I was
a C plus, not a cook.
Yeah, no. The C plus was for the fact that I felt like I want to really legitly do the miles, like without subbing it with the activity. I want to legitimately stick to the routine of cooking more. I'm about to be doing that, and then the
candy
movie
shit
thing
was really cooking.
You did it,
but every day you was like.
Yeah, I definitely was going to withdraw.
It's calling me.
So the hardest parts of the most difficult parts of the cleanse I did to perfection. Like I made sure I didn't eat no candy, no soda. All of the things I said I wouldn't do, I didn't do. But just the little sub thing that was like, the movies. But let's get on to you now.
Oh, okay.
What do you rate yourself before I give you my grade?
Okay, before you give me
because I want to hear what you think of yourself.
That I think I deserve.
Hear what you think of yourself. Q is the main character.
Yeah, so I would say, honestly, I give myself a B plus at the lowest, at the minimum.
I would say I wouldn't dispute the B plus.
Yeah, because the one thing I can't lie, I crabbed it, and it's because I went through the transition. I would have went to therapy. I did not.
No, we gotta bring it down to a C.
Therapy. I did not.
I didn't know you did no therapy.
I did no therapy. I would have went. It was a part of my job package, and I left the job.
The purpose of the cleanse was for you to get therapy.
Literally, when the cleanse started, I left the job. I couldn't have planned it.
No, so I gotta even bring you down even a little bit more because we said you were supposed to read and you listened to books.
I turned into an audiobook scholar. Like I'm inspiring the world. I'm 5 books in.
Great.
In 2 weeks.
We told you to read.
Did we?
We did. I said one book, just read.
Or did we just say run through the books?
No, we said read.
Consume?
We said read.
Digest?
I'm pretty sure we can
process.
We can pull the facts on that. We can get the receipts.
So I ain't gonna lie. About the book thing, I was planning on going to therapy. I was looking forward to it. The book shit, not looking forward to it all. If you remember, if you run the tape back, I was actually putting in my crab claws in it. I'm like, I can journal instead.
But I didn't eat candy and I didn't drink soda.
And I started journaling to supplement. Like I was looking, I'm already going to look forward to this episode right now we're having right now because I'm just going to say, hey, give me my F. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it. Like, not doing therapy or reading. But I told you. Shout out to you, my man. I was telling my man's about the cleanse, and he started trying to pull my card. He was like, "So you just not going to read though? Like, what type?
Oh,
of,
yeah,
what's the point of just doing the cleanse?" I was like, "Well, no, I put the clause in it. Like the clause was a part of the conversation. Like,
but I can't talk because I didn't watch the movie. So that's like it's like they cancel each other out because you requested that I sit down and watch movies, and I was on time for a lot of the stuff. Like
you have been on time for. Yeah. I'll give you that credit.
Yeah, I've been on time.
So I was gonna say was he the one that kind of said, well, we had a whole debate about the book shit, whatever, and then he's like, well, how about just audiobooks? I was like, you know what?
Oh, fair. So you were not gonna do no book.
I was not gonna do anything.
Shout out to your homie. I didn't know the crab.
That's how to give y'all both y'all credit.
King crabs,
yeah,
Dungeness crab.
Absolutely.
I didn't know it was a Dungeness crab.
I was going to just like, it was what it is. When we do 100 push-ups, I was going to just hold the L, like whatever.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so he did the audiobook thing, and then one of the best recent new. When they say when the last time you did something new, that's one of the best things I've done new in a while. Where I like how I feel. Just the whole, I'm sure you get a similar sensation when people read whatever, just kind of being engulfed in information, center at peace. Versus music kind of makes you,
because it takes you into a mode.
Exactly. Like movies, you visualize, you visually stimulate. A book can just really calm you down.
And it's just information, like you said. And it's like, even if it's things that you've heard before, it just be like assuring, like, oh, I knew that. Yep. And it always be put in perspectives that challenge the way you think. And I feel like that's why they always say like I feel like it's literally a book out here on everything. Like it's not one topic under the sun that there's not a book that covers to perfection.
And most likely a great book. Like great book. A great book on anything.
Because you know why the stigma on books? Because when we think about books and reading, we think about textbooks, history lessons, and stuff we don't care about. But when you get to choose, like how you can choose your genre of movie, when you get to choose what you want to consume from a book, and it actually stimulates you and fulfills you in a way that you were seeking, you're like, you know what, this kind of dope. Like, and I've been seeing you on your story giving your little book reviews. I said he's about to start a book club.
Yeah, you know what?
An audio book club.
I gotta be tismed out now. I gotta start rating and collating and shit like that.
He just think he's the book man. Like this, he got 12 stories, 12 different reads. He read books I ain't get to yet. I'm gonna double back and read this twice. We gotta be careful with your terminology. You're not reading anything. You gotta double back with the books you listen to, my friend.
I consumed the books.
Consumption.
And I will. Speaking of reading, I will double down on my hill though. Fuck all y'all book.
Crazy way to start.
Fuck all y'all book readers that have the stigma looking down on people who don't read, whatever. Yes, if you stupid, you deserve stigma.
You know what audiobooks is? That's the BBL of like.
That's cool.
That's like
the
BBL.
Cool. Did I get the information? So y'all look down on people that don't read.
We hit the gym over here.
I read to get through school, and I said the whole time going through school, this shit ain't for me, B. It ain't for me. No, it ain't. I can find other ways to get this information, but I did it, and I went through the whole graduated college without ever finishing a book. And I saw it in real time. This is not for me. This is not my preferred medium of information.
I actually, can respect that. Like, I can't, because like at one point reading wasn't my thing, right? Like, I didn't read a book cover to cover till I was like 27. So,
and I did all types of different books. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like, so the audiobook thing is a good alternative. I do believe, I do believe that it is, I look at it as like, whether it's music, movies, documentaries, whatever, internet, surfing, whatever type shit, a book is another means of information and to, again, apply shit you already know or kind of refine things you know, whatever. So it's just another medium of information, whatever.
Yeah,
so
no, I respect
however you need to get it. Whether you want to fucking read summaries, like, it's still cool information.
And only because I'm such a huge advocate for reading, I will say, like, however you got to get it for sure. Like, because like reading stimulate, our audiobooks is different than podcasts. And some people think, oh, listen to podcasts is in large part, it's going to be centered around perspective, experience. Like, you might have every now and again where somebody can be objective through the entirety of a pod, but it still is those brief moments of entertainment where the audiobook is like, it takes you down a pathway of like, you getting enlightened in this subject.
Super deep dive.
Even if it's like a book that's like storybook with lessons in it, or if it's just like, here's the facts. Like, it's straight to the point and it's like, yo, you know what? And even if, you get to the storybooks where it is the experience of the person that's telling it, it's still information that you can draw from in a different way than just consuming a pod. But, and I tell people to do both. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I tell people
if it's definitely, if you don't mind
read my books
reading,
and listen to my pod.
Yeah, if you don't mind reading, read.
And I love reading. Like, I feel like for me, it's something about having a book physically in my hand where I'm like turning the pages. It's like I can feel an accomplishment, like going through the chapters. I'm like, you can underline stuff, things that stick out to you. And then in a nutshell, at the same time, it just feels like I'm focused in that moment. Whereas though, even if I'm listening to something audio, my attention could be pulled away because I can be texting, but I'm listening. So I might miss something. When I'm reading, I'm like focused on the pages.
No, I definitely get that. You know, the thing about that, I actually haven't gotten to the point yet with the audiobooks that I do it when
doing something else, like multitasking.
Well, only time I've done it is like I'm doing dishes or something. Because I don't give a fuck about this activity. Like I'm not gonna be texting while I'm doing it or just laying in my bed.
But you're gonna multitask.
But doing dishes or doing laundry because this mundane activity is not
housewife. You hear him?
Fair. But this not. But to take up, my real focus is what I'm hearing. Same way I've listened to a YouTube video, so that works well. But if I'm driving, doing some random shit in the house. But if I'm just laying down, like I'm not gonna treat it like a movie because I know I'm not gonna really get my full attention. I'm gonna be on my phone, be on fucking social media, shit.
I just realized Q in his soft era.
The difference is
hold on. My man, they consist of
you
wake up in the morning, get yourself together, take your daughter to school, run to Target or like some type of store,
yoga, Pilates,
do yoga, Pilates, come home, do the dishes, separate the laundry, listen to your audiobooks or your podcast, either order takeout or your day or start dinner, and then your fiance comes home after a hard day at work. And then, that's your day. So you're in your soft era. I respect it.
To defend the smut, I'm really in my king era, which I've always been in. Because I did this shit before I didn't have a job. I had to do this shit every day.
He said, I did that and work.
Facts. Now I'm looking at, like I've always said, I'm looking at housewives like, y'all don't fucking do shit because this ain't nothing. Like, oh my God.
He said, I tested the product.
Facts. Like, I got to clean the house and take the kid to school. Okay, what the fuck? Like, who gives a fuck?
And what do you do with the other 7 hours?
Literally, like, I'm like, the fuck?
But we not about to slight the housewives because I feel like, I was always an advocate for
absolutely slighting the
I was always an advocate for saying, like, I feel like it's sufficient. Like, I've seen how strenuous it could get,
That word
but
is
I
crazy.
would never.
Strenuous is crazy.
Well, it depends on how young the kids is, how many kids it is, how active you are in the kids' activities. Like, are you schooling them when they're there? Like, that takes energy. So I can't.
Schooling.
But like, how, like, some parents do educational activities.
Some do.
But he said yours don't.
I would say most don't. Like, most ain't, yo.
So sit down, take this iPad.
Yeah, like, what? Like, I ain't giving people that much credit. All right, let's just count the apples.
All right, so let's pivot a little bit, man. The cleanse, I feel like ultimately the fact that we both were in a time of transition and we even tried to complete it and we didn't do like certain things, or you picked up a new habit, I give us our credit for that, because in a nutshell, it's like we could have just like, let's just pause it until we get through this,
for sure.
This tumultuous process, because we both literally was going through huge transition, and we probably could unpack. It's crazy because I do want to start to get more in like depth with like certain transitions or time periods in which we in, because I want the audience to be able to know in real time, like, these are the things that, like, we don't just say we want y'all to get better. These are real life things, like losing a job and like me now being out of a relationship. Like, these are real things that like we really go through and that really affect our real life. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't want people to think that it's like, oh, they just get up there and talk about these. They're like, nah, we deal with it, and then we find humorous ways to talk about it and educate and entertain in the same space. So,
and whether you had an up point in your life or a down moment, the thing that's the common thread is be 1% better.
Be 1% better, yeah, because like, nobody's perfect, and life is never going to not life. Like, even in like our last episode, life be lifing, but it's like you got to learn how to live with life while life is lifing. And I feel like that's some of the things that I want y'all to understand, especially for those of y'all that's watching, is like, we deal with things on a day-to-day, but, we make sure that we show up and get a little bit better through everything that we deal with, so that we can still show up and, show y'all how to deal with things. You know what I mean? So, some of the things that I want to talk about is you now being out of the job market, you now into the entrepreneur space a little bit more. You still in the market for a job, but you're not. So, like, what has life been like for Q?
Yeah, so just for the record, I left the job. It was an amicable split, as they say.
It was a mutual agreement.
Yeah, mutual agreement.
What you sound like? You sound like women when a nigga leave them, and they be like, "Yeah, we broke up." Like, you ever notice that? Like, if they leave you, it's specified. Like, I had to leave him. Da da da. But if they get left, I always say I know if a woman got left or if she did the leaving, because if she say, "Yeah, we broke up," all right, he left. But if she say, "Yeah, I had to leave him because of this," all right, she left. So,
because she gonna leave with smut.
Yeah,
I left him, girl, because
But if she got left, it's always we just felt like it would be in our best interest. It was always a mutual agreement.
Fair, you got me.
So yeah, we know he got fired.
No, it's funny. One thing I will say is, as a person that's had to start getting higher positions in work environment, shit like that, where I started hiring people and shit like that, and into the company I got now, one thing I've always will echo and champion and shout from the mountaintops is fuck these jobs. I don't give a fuck what they paying, what they doing, how comfortable you are. 9 times out of 10, eventually they will try to fuck you, and it's gonna be whatever. So I would look at.
Tried to fuck you?
Yeah, it was a woman. Yeah, and I wasn't going for it.
I thought you told me you work for a white Jew. you told me you work for a Jew. Wait, can I say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're going to cancel the show. The show's over now. It's officially done. Like,
rebuked.
Yeah. But no, like, at the end of the day, the job is going to try to fuck you over or whatever. And I always feel like whether you need to always find a way to protect yourself, whether it's like get the job before they get rid of you or just stand on whatever you're going to stand on. So the point why I said I left is the shit was employing a bullshit ass company is what is, whatever. So the whole time I was looking for a job regardless. But
he said, I'm going to leave with smut too.
Yeah, I was going to leave regardless. But then the person I fuck with at the company, they did something or whatever, and they tried to get me to manipulate the situation and kind of throw them under the bus and to keep me on board. So my point is even bringing this up is I would never let a company manipulate me and try to compromise me and keep something over my head.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I will just leave.
Yeah.
Because it's never that deep because you're not going to have you put leverage over me or power. At the end of the day, you already got enough leverage because you pay me.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that, I just can't fuck with or respect whatever. So that's my whole point about with job. I feel people oftentimes, again, we understand life be life and bills is bills, America's American capitalism. But in the day, I feel it's your prerogative. It should be your prerogative and intention to have. If you're gonna have a job, get the most from it.
Yeah, get the most from it.
Don't let them get the most from you.
Right? Yeah. No, I understand that. Two different sides of the fence. I'm the employee. I mean the employer. So. It's like, we don't like people like you.
Yeah. And so to go into the side of the company, so, I actually do have a HR consultant company. If you're a business looking to get some HR revamping, go to the website. If you're an individual professional, need some insight on how to attack the market, get the most from it. To get some more insight, like I just mentioned, you can go to marquiscsinc.com to get more of that. It's also Marquis Inc. on Instagram. And to me, it gave me that time. Not that it was a plan.
Before, I worked with Q in his agency, so I just want to let y'all know how my experience was. You know what y'all get yourselves into. It lasted a month.
But
he can't even say I'm smart though.
But super smart is crazy.
All right, go ahead.
But all I'm gonna say is, to me, I'm good. I can multitask things and do a bunch of different objectives at once. Shout out to the Tism power. But that time gave me enough time to really just lock in and get a lot of shit done or whatever.
I think it was necessary. I think that like sometimes people find themselves in spaces where they haven't made a decision, and then like universally the decision just get made divinely for them. And I feel like you always toyed. I felt like you was growing tired with having like overseer for a while because in our conversations, I could tell you was leaning that way, but I could also tell, like on a previous episode, I said, has being around me as an entrepreneur and working in the company we was doing, did that give you more like, insight to, I can really do this? And you was like slightly, but you kind of, but I truly feel like from witnessing the development, it probably has always been a thought. Like, I'm not saying that the thought came about recently. Probably was always a thought, but I feel like sometimes getting up front and up close and seeing how something is done, like, oh, this is way easier than I thought. This is way simpler. I feel like having that upfront insight. Not that this was your first time, because it could have been happening. But I feel like in this last, time frame, I feel like then this happened, and I feel like he was like, why I'm pulling the trigger. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm going for it because, like I said, I can already see the disdain in the conversation when talking about jobs. Like, man, I'm just get what I can, and if I leave and like, he was like, this. If I had this going on, I probably wouldn't be here. It's like, all right, he leaning more towards doing his own thing. But some people be needing that little nudge, and I feel like sometimes it'll just happen divinely. Like, so getting fired like was your breaking point. Like,
mutual agreement.
I guess y'all broke up.
Yeah, we split the pets. I keep
we
the cat,
decided that it was best if we go our separate ways.
I keep the brownstone, keep the beach house.
Speaking of breakups, right? Let's just talk, right? You ever do you think like the whole issue, it's not you, it's me, is cliche?
No.
Like,
it's funny? Cliche, but it's not cliche.
No, I think it's legitimately a cliche only because it's so. I feel like it only can be a cliche if it's common. Like, it has to literally be common. It's not a cliche if it's rare. It's cliche because this is the truth amongst a large variety of people. So, have you ever been the "it's not you, it's me" guy?
Me saying it?
Yeah, like you've
absolutely.
been.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was my bag. Like, cause I've only been in 2 rural relationships. Yeah. I've just dated, had personals, whatever. Yeah. And not that I always had to say it verbatim, whatever, but to me, I've always saw I can meet a girl and be like, oh no, we only gonna be up here. It's not gonna reach past that, whatever. To me, and that's the epitome of is not you is me.
So I'm gonna add,
because nothing wrong with you. It's just not fit for me to go to a certain level.
Yeah, and I think to add context a lot when it's like the whole "it's not you, it's me" conversation. I think that like most of the time, women think that that's just a man trying to like run out the back door and be like, all right, yeah, I'm this is my way to let you down easy. But nah, it really comes down to like a real self-assessment and a self-evaluation of saying like, yo, it ain't nothing you could do to change how I feel because it's not even about you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something within me I need to work on. Maybe I see that you can go farther without me and you don't need me. Or maybe I feel like I could go farther without you, but it ain't that you not good or you not enough. Maybe it's just one of the things where it's just not going to work because it's not you, it's me. It's really an internal thing. And I feel like when people think of the "it's not you, it's me" conversation, it's just more so like, oh, you know, I don't want you to feel like you did anything wrong. And it's like, I'll take all the blame. It's not a blame thing. It's literally a self-evaluation of, yo, it ain't really nothing you did or nothing you could do to change the way I feel. It's just a me thing. Like, I'm in a season of, I need to work on this about me or I need to focus on this about me. And it ain't got nothing to do with you, so don't take it personal.
Right.
But I feel like the movies and the way they paint it out and that's literally typically a man's way of protecting a woman's feelings because if a nigga stay beyond the "it's not you, it's me" conversation, he just gonna do you wrong because he already tried to explain to you like, look, I ain't on that. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's me. And you still, nah, but we can make it work. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna show you. Like now, and it's almost funny because it was said before in one of our episodes, or maybe it was a conversation we had off the air where we were like talking about how men were literally sabotaging a relationship.
That was on air.
It was on air. So a man would really sabotage a relationship again. I was like, yo, it's crazy because most of the time the relationship ain't really over until a woman is done. Because
dudes
a man might try to still get back with a woman, but eventually, like when she'll just like deny all access, you blocked, you can't even restraining order, like it get that deep. You feel me? Whereas though with a woman, a man don't take those measures, so he try to manage it, like manage the emotions, manage the breakup, manage the feelings. So he still allow her to have access, and she just keep going, keep trying, and then it's like then a motherfucker then I got to go out to be the bad guy. It's like, yo, you know what? I gotta damn near, she gotta catch me doing some bullshit. She gotta see that I'm serious.
I gotta fuck your sister.
You know what I mean?
I didn't want to have to come to this.
That's crazy. But a man, and it's crazy.
Over.
Like I've seen on more occasions than not, where if a man trying to get away from a woman he don't want to be with, he's more so willing to go out looking nutty in any type of way just to get away from her because women don't accept your nose when you're just like, nah, like I'm cool off you. It's like they still try to manufacture ways to make it work instead of just accepting like, yo, that nigga said he cool. And it's like now you got to go out a nutty ass person for her to be the victim because he kept me around and it's like, no.
Yeah, and I would say it has something to do with, I feel often most relationships are engineered by women. Like women are usually ones saying, oh no, we go together, like this and that, and the dude kind of would just let it rock to certain regard, and that's good or bad, whatever. So I think for it to me too,
I'm gonna ask her. I gotta make you my girl. Don't come to no conclusions. I will ask you when I'm ready.
Yeah, so women usually the ones like, what are we? And at the dude, he gets all right.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, it's all right, cool. Like so, once for it to end, it's like, nigga, I'm the one that started this shit. How you gonna end it on me?
Yeah, that's true. Like the audacity. I recruited you.
Yeah, I built this shit,
but
brick by brick. Like, what the fuck?
But it's crazy because one thing I always advise men, man, be honest with yourself first, so you can be honest with a chick. So it's like if you're not ready to be in a relationship, don't let her manufacture it into being that. Don't let her advances and attempts of showing you that she's relationship material make you sign a contract unintentionally that you're not going to abide to the conditions of, because what it tends to do is it destroys your character in the process, when in reality all you were trying to do is be a protector and protect her feelings. But sometimes you got to take the respect over the protection, and what I mean by that is take the fact that she'll respect the fact that you keep telling her, yo, we ain't on that, and you're not saying we ain't on that, but then you lightly trying to be on that, and I'll unpack that, but just legitimately saying like, if whatever the conditions of what we doing is what it is, that don't make this a relationship, and don't allow her to kind of force you in that direction, and then next thing you know, you done accepted something that you didn't want to abide to, and you trying to have your left hand doing one thing while your right hand is doing another, and then when it come to service, you get looked at like a nut ass nigga, when you could really just go into it being respectful within yourself and saying, you know what, to keep it honest, yo, I'm just not on that. And what you'll learn and discover is most women will respect it and still deal with you. Like that's like, people like to use the term being player, and I feel like it's not player if you gotta lie about it. Like if I gotta lie to get my way, that's not player. It's player because I told you what it is and you abide it to the terms. I don't want it if I gotta finesse it. I don't want it if I gotta find a way around. No, I wanted to be like, yeah, no, he told me everything and he stood on everything and everything was what it was, and I still decided to, because like that's right there when you know, like
him.
Like, that's when you know. Like, but if you gotta sit here and like, yeah, you got her thinking she your girl, this person thinking this person, that's not really player. You kind of just playing yourself essentially, because all you're gonna do is create unnecessary headaches and turmoil. You can literally just stand up and stand on what you on, and I'm telling you, they'll sit down and listen.
Yeah, and
or remove themselves. Yeah. Give them the choice.
Yeah, like I said, in the day, it's also going to save you a lot of time and energy and headache.
I'm telling you, like when you, I even like, I'd be like, I don't know how people got like entertain like a handful of. It's like I ain't talking about just fucking around here and there. I'm talking about like legitimate,
real relationship.
Like like,
they
but
all
not,
think you're
but in a way where they don't know. Like if they knew, it's easy. Like I got this, that. But if like they don't know, that's like, yo, you are like, I don't even know how you do it, my brother. Like. And it's like, I can't tell people what to do and what not to do, but it just comes down to if you want your life to be peaceful. Because a lot of the time that we as men say we want our life to be peaceful, but not realizing that we are the cause to our chaos just by not being organized, structured, and sometimes just honest with ourselves. Like being honest with yourself about what you want from a woman and telling her that and giving her the opportunity to either meet your like requests and requirements or go ahead and find somebody that she want to satisfy. That gives you the leeway as a man to have things under control. But when you make it seem like you want more just to acquire something, like even if it's like you make her think, oh yeah, we're gonna be together if you be doing this, that, and third. And now she's trying to show up and fulfill the position, but the whole time the position already filled or it's for women, and that's you better off just being honest with yourself. And it's like you might think that you can't get your way, but I'm telling you, like, you can still have your way because most of the time women are self-centered and they'll think that, and they competitive. So they'll think that I'm going to win the spot. You might actually get more because they know that they on their toes. You feel what I'm saying? That's another thing I'll say, like, I'm a huge advocate for keeping a woman on her toes. I know women like stability and security, and you provide them that, but that don't mean you let them get comfortable because that's the difference. Like, that's when they stop showing up and, like, looking good. That's when they stop showing up and being good. Next thing you know, they talking to you crazy because they didn't got comfortable. So it's cool to let a chick know that her position is stable in your life. Like, yo, I fuck with you. Just by saying those words, like, I fuck with you. I actually want to deal with you. I want to be with you. But don't let her get comfortable into thinking that she can't get got and get got rid of. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being the case, just think about that. It's cool to keep her on her toes so she understand, like, all right, this is why you got to be fit. This is why you got to be smart. That's why you got to do things as a man to make sure that you always in a predicament because you don't never want to lose yourself to where though now you're not even presentable in a way. So now y'all both just comfortable. So if you allow a woman to get comfortable, she's going to do just that. She's going to get comfortable. You got to keep her in a space of yeah, I'm safe, yeah, I'm secure, but at the same time I understand that I can't fuck this up. That's what the jobs do to them. That's why the jobs have a stronghold on the women because they let them see that there's room for growth. They desire that growth. They desire that validation from the boss, the desire and the validation that you want, but you're not getting because she understands that if she don't show up and perform at her highest level, is another person that's coming to take her spot, or she'll just flat out lose the job and lose all the perks that come with it. You got to position your life to be like that because you got to communicate to them in a language in which they understand. They don't understand. They want to be pampered and taken care of, but at the end of the day, if you let them get comfortable, they're going to walk all over you, and you don't want your life to look like that. So I'm telling you, like, that's what works.
Women are children.
100%.
So, yeah, if you let the kid be unsupervised.
100%.
Yeah,
I literally was going to write a whole book on that because like that's one of my go-tos. Like I say, women are childlike or women are children. I was really going to dissect because I know when they hear it, like what, it come off in a triggering sense, but it's like not from we're not comparing women to kids. Like let's like take y'all weird thoughts. We're saying like from a thing where it's like as a protector and a provider, I see no deciphering difference from protecting and providing for my woman as I do protecting and providing for my kids. And because I'm the protector and the provider, the role in which they feel entitled to or the obligations that I'm responsible for is the exact same. Not to mention the fact that, if I say, yeah, who throws tantrums, who always wants their way, who, is going to be self-centered, all of these things, you won't know if I'm talking about my kids or my woman. You know what I mean? And that's not even that's just the facts of the matter. So when you hear that term, it's not to compare it in that deep of a way where y'all start thinking weird. It's more so to compare it in a sense from as a man, as a protector and a provider, who I take care of, the role don't change. It's like it's the same. It identifies the same. So
yeah, when my daughter comes and says, "Oh, Daddy, I broke this and that." Yesterday, my girl called me. Oh, I broke my phone.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is the difference?
Okay,
it's like, I got to solve the problem, and you expecting me to not yell at you, or you expecting me to have grace, you get to cry. I got to, it's the fucking same. It's no different. So it's like when y'all understand that, and even I'm going to tell you how it benefits me to look at it like that, right? Because I don't even take it personal, and I have extreme grace. Right. Because I look at it like, you know what? That's what I expect. Like, it's like, I don't even have a certain level of, because what I tend to see is men really think women operate and think like us. And they do not. And then in reverse, of course, women think men operate and think like them, and it's like, whatever. But the fact that men really be like, yeah, I don't see how you just don't get it, or I don't see how you crying about that, or why is it such a big deal? It's like, bro, you really have to just sit back and understand that they do not think like us. They do not operate like us. What triggers them don't trigger us. Like, it's a balance. So what's opposite of you is her. What's opposite of her is you. So the things that you might look at as a big deal might be relatively small for her. Like, you lost a fantasy football game. Like, or the fact that, whatever. Like, she might, what? That ain't that deep. But you might look at it like she broke a nail and be like, what? That ain't that. What we pull on that makes us get to that point is different. So as a man, you got to look and think and identify like, you know what? I can see why that's a big deal for her. Even though that shit don't matter to me. But to her, this is a big deal. Like, and once you start to, because if your kid fall, you might be like, that wasn't even a fucking hard fall, but you still, you got a boo-boo, come here, let me, you literally got to tend to your women in that way without the antics of talking to them like they're a baby. Right. But you damn near got a baby. I'm like, oh, damn, how was your day? Come here, let me put your foot right here. Let me talk to you about it. Like, you got to literally take on that and understand, not be like, it wasn't even that. You should know that. Like, I feel like men don't want to lead in that way no more. They feel like a woman should just know, bro. She's not just going to know without being taught. Just the same way a kid not just going to know. Like, even if they think they know, from a man's perspective, you still just got to teach them so they know.
Bars. To slightly pivot, though, talk about relationships. What do you think about this? If a marriage... So I would say how I think. So, of course, marriage is about till death do its part, shit like that. We're supposed to be till we die together type shit. Or at least one of us die. So people would then say, if it fails, it's a failure. Or I personally don't really look at it that way. I feel like if it was for the most part, a healthy, loving relationship y'all poured into each other, then for whatever reason it didn't work out in the end, it was kind of like a amicable split, mutual agreement. Then it's like, all right, it failed, but I ain't gonna say it's a failure.
I wouldn't even say it failed.
Okay.
I would say it ran its course.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of what you said, I would just unpack because like that's like in large part my perspective. It's like when you think about a relationship or a marriage, when it comes to an end, people who are delusional about how these processes go feel like it's a failure. But if you understand that everybody is sent in your life to teach you something, you follow what I'm saying? Right. And like it could just be seasonal. Like that's a part of your growth and your development as to who you must become. You just like you can't disregard everything you learned, all the experiences you had just because it had an end date. Like it's great movies out there, but at the end they roll the credits. And no matter how much you like that movie, the fucking movie is over. And that's just how relationships and marriages tend to be. It's like you might have got a child out of it. Whatever you got out of it is what you walk away with. But you can't disregard everything it was. The only time I look at something as a waste of time, because that's what you hear more than anything. They're like, I wasted my time. It's a waste of time the moment you realize it's not going nowhere and you stay. Like if you in year 2 and you like, we don't got the same dreams, we don't got the same goal, we don't got the same vision, like we don't want the same amount of kids, like, but you stuck around for an extra 5 years hoping that something would change, you wasted an extra 5 years of your life because in year 2, it ran its course. Whatever it got y'all to year 2, the experiences, the funness, that's what got y'all there, but anything beyond that was a waste of time. But if y'all had a vision and it was like, yeah, we're going to do this for the first 5 years, and then at some point something happened, it was a paradigm shift, and it was like, well, my vision has shifted. When your vision shifts, so does the people involved in the vision. So with that being the case, you can't say that as a failure. It just got to where it got to, and it went the way it went. And you got the benefit to that is the experiences that you take with you, because you're never going to be the same person walking into the relationship and walking out of a relationship. You're going to be different, whether good or bad. There's going to be some changes that take place. So with that experience alone, you can't say that it was a failure. It just ran its course. But what I think failed marriages are the ones that literally, I don't even know. I think the failure starts at the departure, like how y'all handled the split. Like if y'all could be mutually agreed to be like, yo, you still cool. I still got your best interest at heart. I still don't think it fell. It just ran its course. But it fails if the kids got to suffer, if, it's some type of collateral damages in court and this and abuse and stalking. That's a failed situation because it's like, this shit ended catastrophically. But if it ended, it's just like, yo, we ain't really work. People running around saying it failed, but it's like, no, you ain't seen failure. Failure is ending up on child support, spousal alimony, this, that, and the third, restraining orders, fights. That's a fucking failure. But other than that, I just feel like it ran its course.
Yeah, because, my mom said it's on site with you. So,
Yeah, I know.
Like, yeah.
I seen her gun, too. I'm like, you took it to the range. I'm like, the timing of this?
She
like,
said it's on site.
She just,
I have to be on her side. I'm sorry. You're my co-host. That's mom.
Like, it's cool because I got her son right where I want him. What you talking about? but no, we don't condone that. But all in all, though, it was like, yeah.
No, I was about to say something. So when I was talking to her about, how me and her was recapping some of the topics we had on the episode recently, she asked one for Wolf.
Of course, always. Shout out to Miss Lena.
Right. And one of the things that she told me was, she said, my stepdad looks at their marriage as a failure. And she actually reminded me and him had that conversation. I forgot about it. And I was like, I said the same thing I just said now. I'm like, yeah, like, it's a failure. Like, I didn't go in there to be divorced. Like,
I can see that perspective.
And I was like, No, I look at shit like I'm happy it happened. I'm happy it happened versus being upset that it ended type shit.
You said that before.
Yeah, so it's like I just don't. And then when I asked her how she felt about it, she was like, "No, I was worried he did feel the way because also he didn't want to initiate it." And I think also especially when you're a man, you consider yourself the leader and you saw a vision for the relationship to be a certain way, and then you don't want to kind of like, "Damn, it ain't there." Fuck, I'd rather go somewhere else. He probably like, yeah, I failed to even get us to a certain point or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
But her counter was like, yeah, I don't look at it as a failure also because there's people who've been together for 20, 30, 50 years and not together. They have the love that we have.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are fortunate to have that perspective. We're like, no, like, we had however time together, it was a great, my best love ever. Yeah. I don't give a fuck that shit lasted for 2 years or whatever.
Yeah,
that's not a failure versus a marriage that doesn't end, but it's trash or whatever. Like, yeah, you're not gonna say that's a success.
No, that's why I'm glad you even say that because it comes down to how you gauge in failure versus success. Like we can look at it like I went to college, but I didn't finish college. You know, like people would say, I dropped out. Somebody was like, yeah, I failed out of college. I was like, no, it was like I pivoted to entrepreneurship and became widely successful. And like, you know, that was my pathway. But college gave me resources, you know, it gave me opportunities to network and build and connections that I still have to this day. And people that went to college and succeeded and finished don't even use their degree for nothing. So it's like, and they ended up in all this student loan debt. So it's like really come down to how you gauge your success. But if you had a plan and you didn't get to execute, I still wouldn't say you failed because he'd still probably executing his plan. He just pivoted with it because he got a new person that he's doing it with. So it really just comes down to, all right, me and you went as far as we could go. And it's just the whole college analogy. Like you went from here from 9th to 10th, from freshman to sophomore year, and then you transferred to a new university. You still gonna end up with your degree, which is the ultimate goal. Now, granted, within that vision, say they wanted to have kids or wanted to travel, like it's certain things that get left on the table. Because in the last couple relationships, well, I ain't been in that many to say the last couple, but just even my last two per se, like it was goals to like do certain things, like travel, do this, like X, Y, and Z. And it's like when you don't hit those milestones, it sucks. It's like, damn, like I wanted to actually do these things with you, but that don't mean that it was a failure because we didn't accomplish everything we set out to do. Look at all of the beautiful things that we were able to accomplish. You know what I mean? That's how you got to look at it. Like, you always got to find the positive in it. But I guess he looking at it from his perspective where he like, you know, I said I wanted to be to death due, and we didn't make it till death due. But like you said, if it fucking sucks, and it's like we fucking despise each other, that shit been dead. It's like, all we doing is just living next to each other. Right. Like, no, get me the fuck about it. I'll take a crispy, great 3-piece over a dreadful 10-piece any fucking day. Because who the fuck got 7 years to be miserable? No, movies, great movies, sometimes never had a sequel.
Absolutely.
Like, think of some of the greatest movies. Like, we never got a motherfucking, what movie I was just watching? They were saying they was thinking about doing a sequel and they didn't do it. Fuck. Man, there's a lot of classic ones.
But there's also many sequels that got that we did not need.
And sometimes it be like, sometimes y'all see this, which I gotta understand, man. Y'all gotta understand when it has run its course, when the gas has ran out in this motherfucking car, when the ship has sunk,
not push the
when
car.
The plane has landed. Do not call maintenance. Do not try to see what roadside assistance you could get. Do not try to see if you got emergency fuel, because I'm like, you do all of that beforehand. Like, but once it's done, and it's like, that's be the problem. Like, and then the rest is running on water, and it's start, and it's so toxic because you're not even fueling the relationship with the proper energy that it needs, the proper fuel that it needs to be able to sustain whatever y'all trying to go. And now it comes to a point where y'all just operating out of fear and control, where you don't want to let the person go because you don't want to see them end up with somebody. You don't want to move them. You don't want them to move on faster than you, or you feel like the dating pool was trash, so you don't want to re-enter. You rather just deal with the person you with because you already understand their flaws. But it's like, is it conducive? Is it productive? Am I growing? I'm happy? Like, am I happy? These things matter. They make or break the situation. So it's like, you'd rather stay in a situation where I like to use the analogy of, it don't matter what type of car you in, right? Before we even go under the hood, let's stay on the outside. If one of the tires is flat, it's going to affect the performance. You in a Bentley, don't matter. The tire is flat, it's going to affect the performance. That Bentley on a flat tire cannot beat no car. Probably can't even beat a bike. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all relationships is operating on flat tires. And I was like, y'all could do two things. Y'all could change the tire and try to work it out. Or y'all could say, yo, you know what? Because a flat tire not that deep. And when you start having engine problems, it don't matter what type of car it is, it's a fucked up thing. And that's to tie the analogy together, just to kind of build on it. The engine problem and the transmission problem come down to the mindset, because that's work that need to be done under the hood. Like, how does this person think? Like, if the work, like, it don't matter how beautiful the body is. It don't matter. You park a Bentley out on the driveway for everybody to ride past. Oh, that's a great looking Bentley.
Other people looking at the relationship.
But on the inside, the car don't even fucking move. And it's like, when you look at a relationship like that, a lot of people get so caught up on social media and what the outside look like, oh, they keep it clean. You ride past every day, they cleaning this Bentley. clean like that. I want to. You got people perceiving. I want a car like that. You see how they keep that thing clean?
Ride smooth as hell.
Whole time the shit don't even move because what's under the hood is fucked up. The engine and the transmission is not on one page, so the car can't move. So that's the thing. That's where it comes to developing your mindset, becoming a better person, having goals, having a vision, having alignment within a relationship, so that this beautiful Bentley can hit the road. Other than that, you better off just taking a fucking car that works. Like, before we take this high value, high price maintenance car that we can't even keep because under the hood is fucked up.
Shout out to the Ubers. Get some Uber bitches.
Like, my God, get you from here to there. Like, shit, sometimes you need the little, I don't got time to pay for parking and none of that. Pick me up and drop me the fuck off where I gotta go. You mean we ain't going, but that's just how it go. But all in all, man, like ultimately, regardless of where you at in your life or in your relationship, because like the way I am, I'm just a proponent of personal development. If you in a relationship, work on yourself. If you get out of a relationship, work on yourself. If you haven't been in one in a long time, work on yourself. Don't be afraid of the dating pool. People, what you see is a reflection of what you think. So how you perceive the world is in large part to how you see the world through your thoughts first, before it's intangible in the actual reality. So when you walk around saying like, oh, the dating pool is shitty, you're going into every situation looking to have a fucked up experience because you perceive it to be shitty. I know how to attract what I want out of people, out of environments, out of situations by having a clear understanding on what that looks like. So I don't view nothing to be like, oh, it's trash. Like, you're going to get a trash experience because you're going into it already apprehensive and reserved and waiting for the trash moment so you can go to social media and say, this is a trash ass dating. No, go into it understanding that this might actually be good. And if it's good for a month, then that was the course it ran. If it's good for 6 months, that was the course it ran. Everything not going to end up at the fucking altar. And you got to be okay with that because a lot of people ended up at the altar and then next thing you know, they wish they never did,
Yeah. And to also just put a button on, like, in the day, good is good. Why are we looking at good, short-term good like it's bad?
No,
like,
that's real shit.
It's still good.
Like, no, that's real rap. You know what I mean? It's like when you see it and you look at it like, what would you rather have? Like, of course you want longevity or some shit, but it's like, if you go on perfect. Let's look at Airbnb versus the crib. Like, Airbnb is a short-term experience. Like, you know what I mean? It's dating, essentially. Like, like, you don't go into Airbnb and think you own it, but for them couple days that you in it, you feel like this was a hell of an experience. I got to live like this. I got to rent this out. And that's in large part. But when you got a crib, it's like if you want this shit to look a certain way, you got to develop it. So when you get in a relationship, you can't be high off the Airbnb stage of when it wasn't yours to maintain and maintenance. You got to look at it like a homeowner. You got to look at yourself like a homeowner now. Like, I got to do the work. I'm responsible for maintenance. And the maintenance always is the mindset. So if a pipe busts in the head and there's a lot of shit going on, and you got to go and like, all right, how can we repair this so that we can get back on one page? Okay, I want to up the property value. We need to be invested in ourselves. That's going to the gym. That's doing all of these different things that will increase the value of this home that we own, that we building, versus when you in the phases of just Airbnb. Anybody could come through this joint because y'all dating. It's like, it ain't nothing conclusive. It ain't nothing that's concise. It's not nothing that's exclusive. It's just like, one day you got it, next day, and that's,
you don't know about the foundation of it. You don't know what's
you don't know.
it.
All you know is the presentation of it. But when you get into that home, it's your job to know about the pipes. It's your job to know about the mold. It's your job to know about the structure and when it was built and what it could sustain. And it's your job to renovate it. So a lot of y'all are in relationships that y'all don't want to renovate. You just with a person and you comfortable with everything being all over the place. No, do the work in your relationship to make it work. And I say that if it could work. If not, and you and your Airbnb faders, then find the best ones. I ain't want to select that either.
Yeah, Airbnb is Ubers.
You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
But it's crazy because, like, I even wrote that down where I was talking about apartments, though. Not even just Airbnb. I was talking about apartments. I was like, really, that shit is like apartments, because when you think about an apartment, I was thinking about, like, you know how when people, like, get out of a relationship and they, like, worry about their exes, it's like when you move out of an apartment, you don't think about who about to be the next tenant. I know I don't. Like, I don't. When I move out of my apartment, I just worry about making sure I clean it up so I get my fucking security deposit back, and I go on to where I'm about to be living now, and I focus on that space, whether it's a different apartment or a home or whatever the case may be. But if you looking at an apartment like you own the apartment and you making changes to the apartment, you know what I mean? Then when you dip, that's why you feel stupid, because you're like, damn, I put all this work into this and I ain't even getting none of the benefit. No. That's how a relationship is versus a marriage, where once you tie that knot. Like me, I've never been married, so I've only ever had apartments. The goal could be to jump into the home, but we ain't ever make it there. But once you get into that home and become a homeowner, it is your fucking duty to fix that home up. Like, it's your duty to work on your marriage. If you just still in the apartment phases of being in a relationship and y'all figuring each other out, you want to scout the area, see if it's going to work. Do I want to position myself here? Understand that it's still a rental. So the work you do might not benefit you. It might be for the next person. And that's what people don't understand about the whole failed relationship thing. No, you knew this was an apartment when you leased it. So at some point, it was one of two things. You was either going to convert this into a buy to a rent to buy situation, or you going to turn this into a situation where I fixed it up, I got it together, but I know that somebody else about to be the one leasing it or, owning it next. And you got to be okay with that going into it, or you going to feel like, oh, we failed when it don't work out.
And to close it, even on the idea of buying a house, ultimately, if you end up having to sell it for the reason, it still was a good experience. It still was yours. Yeah. You still put still put all you could put into it, but you gotta sell it eventually. That's cool.
And that's cool because, yeah, for sure. I was about to say you rent it out, but you can't do that. It's pimping.
Well, you want to land the plane on that note?
Yeah, I'm just landing on that note, man. Just when you're thinking about it, man, everything requires work. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm a huge advocate for that. Like, even like I said, whether you single, together, or whatever, like, I'm always preach getting yourself together. You know what I mean? And we'll pivot from there into talking about some of these movie selections that you sent me.
Want to talk about just next episode?
I really don't want to talk about the movie selection. That was just a pivot.
Fair.
I was waiting for you to throw me a life jacket. He didn't. Where we at?
We landed.
Oh, cool.
Let's say we landed.
Oh, you talking about like literally?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying landing just on that topic.
Oh, I was talking about landing.
That's all I'm like, all right, nigga, what's the next topic?
My bad.
The fuck is just going to land the topic? Oh, no. So, look, all in all, though, man, like, as always, man.
Fuck this apartment. On the top of this shit.
All in all, man, we want y'all to get a little bit better every time y'all listen, man. And like, we want y'all to get involved. We want to kind of create that community feel where y'all are hitting us up and letting us know what y'all want us to talk about, things y'all want us to cover, questions that y'all have and y'all might need advice for. We don't want this just to be where it's like, no, I'm cool with y'all consuming, but at the same time, we want to involve y'all. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, also, y'all know that this behind me is still a billboard, even though it says WIF Network. We're still looking for people to advertise. If you've hit us up about advertisement, hit us up again. Just email us at wifnetworkwsc@gmail.com. Once again, that's wifnetworkwsc@gmail.com. Hit us up for any of your advertising needs. I got a marketing agency. Q has a consulting agency. Yes, we both offer a multitude of services that could take your business from here to there. As far as an expansion, we can help you expand vertically or horizontally, build out or build up. We can provide you with all of the tools, the resources, anything that you could possibly need to be able to sustain and grow your business. And just get with us. My company is called First Step Marketing. His company is called
Marquee Consulting Solutions.
Marquee Consulting Solutions. That's Marquee as in the
right side.
Yeah. All in all, but ultimately, man, y'all know what the tagline is. As y'all let people know, we grow. Do not gatekeep this information. Send it out to somebody you know if you're listening or if you're watching. We need more people to know about it, because the more people that know about it, the more we can expand. The more we can expand, the more people we can help grow and develop. And that's what we ultimately seek to do. So with that being said, make sure y'all tune into us on the WIF Has Spoken podcast on the Apple app, Spotify, and everywhere that is available audio. You can catch us on YouTube on the WIF Network channel at the WIF Has Spoken podcast. You can catch me on Instagram at WIFWSC. You can catch the network page at WIFnetwork.WSC, and then you can catch Q.
Real quick for a second, I was going to say, everything you said is valid for sure, but also shout out to everybody that has been supporting and helping us get to the point just now.
That's a fact.
Because with everything, 1% better. So right now we have the new studio space, and we're going to continue to grow vertically and horizontally. So with every view, every share, every whatever is helping us get 1% better, as you hope to get as well 1% better.
And shout out to y'all, man. Like, the fact that y'all even tuned in, tapped in, if y'all made it to this point.
DMing us, hey, what happened to this and that? What's about this?
That's when you know. And they're like, where the episode at? Okay, they in.
And whether you agree or disagree, we love all the feedback on it.
100%.
But you can follow me right on Q Live, right as in the right side on QUE Live, and you can follow the business at Marquee CS Inc. and go to the website marqueecsinc.com.
That's not in the contract. cut. It's like, no. All in all, man, we hope y'all enjoyed the episode as always, man. Until we see y'all next time, the WIF Has Spoken, man. We out.
Yes, sir.